or what will happen or not happen in 2027, right? These are people who are members of the ruling party. Why not let us focus on governance for the meantime before we begin to think about, will the incumbent go for a second term? Why not let us deliver good governance and let things be better in Nigeria first of all. Anyway, that's our second topic for today. We will also be looking at the World Bank saying the 5,000 Naira cash transfer scheme, which was implemented by the Nigerian government, had little impact on household consumption and, of course, women's financial inclusion in the country. What the World Bank is trying to say is when former President Muhammadu Buhari instituted or rolled out the 5,000 Naira conditional cash transfer scheme, this program that was rolled out for the vulnerable and the indigent in the society, so he did not do anything. He not stop anything. He did not reduce poverty. He did not have any impact. In fact, little to no impact on household consumption. It didn't make lives of Nigerians better. And honestly, based on a number of reasons, one would be inclined to agree. Moving on to a very next topic on the recap this evening, EFCC stops dollar transactions, urges embassies to charge in Naira. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has said every foreign mission based in Nigeria, embassies, no matter what it is you want to do, you have to charge Nigerians in the Nigerian currency. You have to stop charging Nigerians in dollar. Now, all of this is to stop the dollarization of the economy, which really we can't deny. We've been seeing a lot. You scroll through social media these days and you see people pricing their goods and their services in dollars. Now, I quite understand that the Naira has taken a nosedive and has been more or less bowing before the US dollar, but that is no reason for any Nigerian business to charge for their goods or their services in another nation's currency, because now, according to the EFCC, the CBN Act section 20 subsection 1 of the CBN Act 2007 says only the currencies issued by the Apex Bank, that is the Central Bank of Nigeria, is the only legal tender in Nigeria. So why are we charging Nigerians for Nigerian goods and services even if they are imported in dollar? Anyway, I may be wrong. Our analysts will be shedding more light on this as the program progresses. And finally, on this issue this one has been going on for almost 10 months, for almost over 6 months now, right? Without exaggeration. Rivers APC orders immediate impeachment of Governor Fubara. One would ask, what is going on in Rivers State? Well, a lot is going on in Rivers State, and one of the latest development, which is not even the latest development, is that Rivers APC has ordered the immediate impeachment of Governor Fubara. Okay, now the River State chapter of the All Progressives Congress is saying its members in the State House of Assembly must commence immediate impeachment process against Governor Sim Fubara. And in case you don't know it, the River State situation is one that has been lingering for a while now, and it started with a godfather-godson political war. The political crisis in the state started when Wike said, you know what? You're my boy, but you're not listening to me and you're not doing what I want. And Governor Fubara has more or less been standing his ground recently, although it wasn't like that in the beginning, as some people would say. Anyway, there is a lot of tea. There is a lot to unpack with all of the situations happening across the Nigerian polity. And we will be talking about it as the program progresses. You are listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're live on YouTube, but you can go to the YouTube app, type into your search bar VOP 903 FM or Voice of the People 90.3 FM on YouTube, and you can get to watch us live. In case you want to put a face to the name, or you want to put a face to the voice, or you just want to see what our studio settings look like, head on over to YouTube. You can drop your comments there, and of course, I want to hear from you. We're Voice of the People after all, and we're definitely here to give you a voice. Welcome again to the recap. Okay, it's that part of the program where I get to introduce my guest today to you, and of course we will delve into the analysis segment of the recap today. The recap is a program where we analyze some of the major issues that trended during the week. And of course, with me to do the analysis today, I have Mr. Peter Anasike. Mr. Peter Anasike is a philosopher, a development economist, journalist, and a best-selling author. He's the author of Dangote's The 10 Commandments and Money, the book that was rated as one of the best development books in the world by the Wall Street Journal. And here in Nigeria, it was adopted as a workbook for grooming entrepreneurs by the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, a federal government agency in charge of small and medium-scale businesses in the country. Welcome to the program, Mr. Peter Anasike. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Right, there are quite a number of places you can get to watch this in case you don't have your radio, your transmitter radio with you, in case you cannot listen to us terrestrially. Like I said, we're streaming live on YouTube at this very moment, and guess what, I'm also live on Instagram, so you can head on over to my Instagram to watch this program live. It's @_the radio girl, @_the radio girl, just all together @_the radio girl. It's time for us to delve into the analysis segment on the recap. I'm quite excited. Mr. Anasike, are you? We have very interesting topics today, so are you excited?
Well, I'm always excited.
Okada in Edo State. Now, the former president said he ensured that women were admitted into the Nigerian Defense Academy. He recalls that he faced serious challenges, but he had his way as president of the country, saying, in fact, during his administration, women became an integral part of the military set, with some of them even going ahead to become some of the best jet fighters. He's saying most of his ideas, which could have helped the country in the area of technological development, were jettisoned. I would like to get your take on that. Would you say what Jonathan is saying here is true? Did he have good ideas for the country? Did he implement these good ideas? And were these good ideas followed, or were they literally just tossed in the bin? And if we had these good ideas today, would Nigeria really have been a better place for all of us?
Well, Jonathan had a very wonderful ideas that would have transformed this country if they were sustained. An instance, Jonathan came up with the Orosanya report, which the Buhari government abandoned for 8 years, and now Tinubu government has seen it as genuine and had decided to resuscitate it. Jonathan also had the confab report of 2014, which, if it is implemented, all the problems that we are facing in this country would evaporate. Then, mind you, Jonathan removed the subsidy when our economy was very, very strong. Then, petrol was selling at 85 naira per liter. And then when he removed the subsidy, it jumped to 125. That time, Tinubu, Buhari, Wole Soyinka, Showore, and others protested. Why should he remove subsidy? Why should he remove subsidy? Now, 9 years after, they have seen that Jonathan made a good decision by removing that subsidy at that point in time. If they had allowed that subsidy that to stand, by now, Nigeria would not have been facing what we are facing at this point in time. So he came up with very good policies. And you said that every government comes with their own policies and programs. No, government is a continuum. Government is like a relay race.
When you say governance is a continuum, does that mean that every administration must continue from where the previous administration stopped in terms of policy making, in terms of decisions, ideas, opinions, and of all of that?
Government is a continuum. It doesn't stop. If one government lays the foundation for a housing estate and the next one comes, you shouldn't abandon that foundation. Once the project, once or the program, once or the policy is for the good of the people, any right-thinking government should continue on that project. So that's why I said that government is a continuum. You don't abandon the projects of your predecessors because a new government has come on board. So if the Buhari and Tinubu government has continued from where Jonathan stopped, we would not have been facing the challenges, the crisis that we are facing at this point in time. So what Jonathan said is true. Buhari abandoned most of Jonathan's programs. like the Orosanya. If they had implemented the Orosanya, we would not have been facing what we are facing at this point in time, because now I read a report that they use 70% for servicing our debt. They use 70% to service our debt. Imagine such a thing, which means the remaining 30% will be for recurrent and capital expenditure. What is 30%? That's why nothing is going on in this country.
You're saying it would have been better for Buhari to continue from where Jonathan stopped in terms of policy making.
If Buhari is reasonable, he should have continued from where Jonathan stopped.
Now,
and that's
seeing as he didn't do that, Mr. Noske, right, wasn't there any of his policies that we could say was an improvement from former President Goodluck Jonathan's?
Example, Buhari took Nigeria back to 40 years. An instance, when Jonathan was leaving office in 2015, our megawatts was 4,517. But today it is below 400. So the good things that Jonathan did, Buhari spoiled it. Understand me? So instead of moving forward, Buhari moved us backwards. Check the prices of goods and services when Jonathan was in power and when Buhari came on board. As I said, petroleum was selling below 200 naira when Jonathan exited office in 2015. Buhari left it at 400. Check the exchange rate under Jonathan and under Buhari. So all the good things that Jonathan did, Buhari and the APC government spoiled it. So instead of moving forward, APC took Nigeria 30 years backwards. So government is continuing. It's like a relay race. Where one stop, you hand over the baton to the next person to continue. But this APC government did not do that.
Can we say the reason is because it was two different administrations? It was one party handing over to another.
There's no petroleum affects everybody in the country. Electricity affects everybody in the country. Exchange rate affects everybody in the country. So if there are projects that are not in the best interest of the country, if there are programs that are not in the best interest of the country, you can abandon those programs. You can abandon those policies. But you continue with those that are in the best interest of the people, because government is about the happiness of the greater number of people in a given space. That's what government is all about. As I said, if one government needs foundation to build a housing estate, another one should not stop that project because it is an old government. Housing is for all people. Understand me? Road network. If Jonathan government abandoned a road network, understand me? The next government that is coming on time should finish that project, because road does not care whether it was built by APC or PDP. Understand me? So that's what government is on about. But APC government did nothing this way. That's why we are in a mess that we are in at this point in time.
You're saying that the APC government did not think about continuing the good work of the PDP administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan. He talked about championing the cause of women during his time as president of the country. Is that something you would agree with? And is that also an area where you felt that Buhari lagged behind?
Buhari scored 0.
In the area of women empowerment?
In every aspect of human development.
Are you saying you can't find even one point where he might have done?
Buhari scored 0. If there's anything less than 0, that's what Buhari scored for 8 years.
Okay. Now,
even the Amajedi schools that Jonathan was building in the north, Buhari stopped it because they don't want their people to go to school so that their eyes will not open. So Buhari stopped even the schools that Jonathan were building in his own region.
All of this, according to you, you don't believe that all of this was done in the interest of the country in order to bring in his own policies that may have benefited Nigerians better?
I say government is a continuum. Even if your enemy come with a good program, you should take it up. Understand me? It is not about people. It is not about political party. It is about the welfare of the people. It is about the well-being of the people. It is about the interest of the people. That's what government is all about. Not about whether it is APC that is ruling or PDP that is ruling. It's about the welfare of the people. It's about protection of life and property. It is not about political parties.
It is not about political parties. Government should be about the welfare of the people. All right, let's move on to our very next topic. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We've just talked about, do I call this PDP versus APC, Goodluck Jonathan versus Muhammadu Buhari? Former President Goodluck Jonathan said all of the progressive ideas which he championed were, ironically, abolished by the All Progressives Congress government, which took power after him. All right, let's move on to our very second topic. Deputy Speaker Carlo charges Abia APC to deliver 100% for President Tinubu in 2027. Now, the Deputy Speaker made the call when he received the members of the Ukwa local government chapter of APC and new party members led by the Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC Abia Commissioner Chief Dimgba Eruba in Umuahia recently. The Deputy Speaker emphasized that there is a need to consolidate power to ensure President Bola Tinubu's victory in the 2027 elections. Now, he says this is also to secure APC's win in the next gubernatorial election in the state. Now, it's not a bad thing to want to win, right? It's definitely not a bad thing to want to take over power or to have this ambition. But one question I keep asking is, this is still 2024. It's just 1 year after the general elections. This administration is more or less still finding its feet, as it has said over and over again. But now you have the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, who should be representing the people of his constituency, the people that voted him in to represent them. But rather, he's thinking about what will happen in 2027. He's saying there is a need to consolidate power to ensure President Bola Tinubu's victory, to secure APC's win in the gubernatorial election in the state. He's saying, okay, the group, you are trying, but you need to do more. He went further to praise the incumbent president's leadership style, says he has a friendly disposition towards the Southeast region. He's saying the president supported his emergence as Deputy Speaker in the spirit of equity and fairness. Now, this very last statement that was made when he was visited by this group, can we say that's the reason for all of the adulation? Because when he says, oh, the president supported my emergence as Deputy Speaker in the spirit of equity and fairness, and now he's saying we have to deliver 100% for President Tinubu in 2027. That is charging Abia APC. Can we say that all of this is due to that personal interest? If not, first of all, shouldn't we be talking about good governance, first of all, before we even talk about who will take over from who in 2027?
Well, for me, in Abia politics, I'm from Abia, I'm from Umuahia. The Deputy Speaker is a shoe shiner when it comes to politics in Abia. Understand me? Then I read that speech. I didn't see anywhere he mentioned the achievements that Tinubu has made in Abia State.
He said he has a friendly disposition.
Of what? What does that mean?
To the people of the state.
What does that mean?
And supported his emergence as Deputy Speaker.
Define friend. Does it mean building a hospital, building a road, or what? What does friendly disposition means? What does I would have expected to see that Tinubu had done this and that for Abia people. This is what I had expected that to see in his speech. And because of this, support him in 2027. And again, I am happy that he said that APC members. I am happy that he said APC members, because APC members are less than 1% in Abia State. APC members are less than 1% in Abia State. Go and check the last presidential, governorship, and elections and check what APC scored in Abia. So there are less than 1% in Abia. So he is not trying to exaggerate. I would have called him names if I said that Tinubu, understand that Abia will give Tinubu 100%.
No, he's urging them, he's charging them, he's saying it would be nice.
No, he said APC members.
Okay, if he had said the whole of Abia State,
I would have called him names, understand me? I would have called him names, but he spoke certainly. So the truth is that...
Why would you call him names for expressing an opinion of his?
Excuse me. The truth is that voting is not for jamboree. When you vote, you have given somebody your life, you've given somebody your mandate, you've given somebody everything for the next 4 years. Understand me? So a vote is not a joke. But Nigerians know how to waste their votes. But Abia don't waste their votes. That's why from 1999 to today, Abia has never voted wrongly. Abia State has never voted wrongly. 1999, Abia voted Obasanjo instead of Onu Fandaye. 2003, Abia voted Obasanjo instead of Buhari. 2007, Abia voted Yar'Adua instead of Buhari. 2011, Abia voted Jonathan instead of Buhari. 2015, Abia voted Jonathan instead of Buhari. 2019, Abia voted Atiku Obi instead of Buhari. 2023, Abia voted for Peter Obi. Understand me? We have never voted for those who will later be going to punish their people. We cannot make that mistake. So Abia, what he's talking, he's just talking for himself and his family. He doesn't have capacity to talk for Abia people. As I said, in Abia, the deputy speaker is a shoe shiner. So,
are you saying in terms of Abia State politics that he's not fully recognized?
I said he's a shoe shiner. That's why he is appreciating Buhari, Tinubu, for helping his emergence. Understand me? So, and that's why he cannot even say Abia people will look at the candidate. And from 1999, we have a tradition. We don't vote for wicked people. We don't vote for people who doesn't have sympathy. We don't vote for people who don't have empathy. We have never voted wrong since 1919, and it will not start in 2027.
Okay, it will not start in 2027, but that is just one part of the answer to my question. On the other hand, I was asking the question about, shouldn't there be more focus on governance, more focus on people representation than on what happens or not in 2027? Well,
the issue that there should be focus there, assuming you have ideas. But if you are bereft of ideas, because APC, all they think about is to grab money and the next election. They don't care about governance. They don't care about how the people are feeling. That's why, upon all the suffering that a lot of Nigerians are going to bed without food, APC is talking about the next election. That shows you how wicked they are. Understand me?
Is it wickedness or
it's wickedness,
ambition?
Absolute wickedness. People that are suffering, they can. Do you know what a pint of garri cost? Do you know the minimum? So these people, they don't care about how the people are feeling. Their concern is the next election. So if all the APC members in Abia died of hunger before 2027, then they will still give, they will resurrect and give Tinubu 100%. So that shows you that that guy is not thinking.
Okay, he's not thinking, according to you, about representation, about proper governance, about how best to treat the
government
people.
Is about the welfare of the people, the well-being of the people. That's what government is on about, and not elections. The welfare of the people. When you vote, you have voted for somebody who will take care of you, who will make sure that you have good road, good hospital, understand me, electricity, water, and so on and so forth. But this APC doesn't think on that. So it is unfortunate.
All right, then you're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're also streaming live on YouTube. All you need to do is head on over to the YouTube app, type into your search bar VOP 903 FM, and you can get to see and watch us live on the program. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm your host, and of course I have here in the studios with me Mr. Peter Anosike, analyzing the issues, major issues that made headlines during the week. We're now moving on to topic 3, but I must let you know that at about 5 p.m. on the dot, the phone lines will be open so that you can share your opinions, your ideas, your suggestions with us on the various topics that we will be discussing today. You're listening to the recap. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed quite a bit, but hang on. The program goes up until 6 p.m. Welcome back. The conversation is getting really interesting right here on the recap and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm your host. My name is Chioma Innocent, and on the other side of the table, I have Mr. Peter Anosike, who's doing the analysis, who is responsible, yes, for the analysis segment on the recap. Today, we've had conversations about two different topics. First was former President Goodluck Jonathan saying all the progressive ideas he championed were abolished after his exit from the presidency. And of course, we just finished talking about the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, urging the Abia State chapter of the APC to ramp up their grassroots mobilization efforts ahead of the 2027 general elections. And I'm gonna keep asking the questions, why not focus on governance? Well, let's move on to another pertinent issue as well. According to the World Bank, former President Muhammadu Buhari's government's 5,000 naira cash transfer scheme had little to no impact on households, on their consumption, on financial inclusion, and so many other aspects. Now, this is, according to the World Bank, is saying, you remember that time that President Muhammad Buhari said, former President Muhammad Buhari said, we'll do conditional cash transfer, 5,000 naira to each household, to people, to vulnerable people, to indigents. We'll get your account number and we'll send money to you so that you too, you can flex, you can just do small flex. Well, the World Bank is saying now that that particular program had little to no impact on Nigerians. He had little to no impact on families' financial statuses. He had little to no impact on household consumption. In fact, in a report titled Better.com, the effects of cash transfers on women and households in Nigeria, the report said that the scheme, which was implemented in 2016, and then it was called the National Social Safety Net Project, the one that the humanitarian ministry is being probed for right now, part of it. Now, he said it had a limited impact on employment, especially for women. Now, the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari had provided households, that is full household, father, mother, and their children with a cash transfer of 5,000 naira disbursed as a lump sum every 2 months. In my own particular household, we did not get it. So this one they're saying it was disbursed as a lump sum every 2 months. First month, third month, fifth month, I did not get anything. But that's besides the point. Now, payments were supposedly given to each household's primary caregiver, predominantly women. This is according to the World Bank report. But the report is suggesting that there is a need for complementary livelihood to support the intervention to generate sustainable improvement in households' self-sufficiency. The long and short of all this whole long grammar, this plenty of Igbo, is there is a need for people to have their own sources of livelihoods that is so much better and much different than getting cash handouts from the government. And guess what? Nigerians are not lazy people. Contrary to what the same former President Muhammadu Buhari went out of the country, went to the diaspora to say, Nigerians are not lazy people, because I know people who are doing the best that they can, but the economy is not smiling. Well, the World Bank is saying that it found no significant effect on overall household consumption, on women's employment or financial inclusion. That is to say, the 5,000 naira they say they shared there, no, that they allegedly shared to people, because me in my own household did not see anything. All my compound, all my neighbors did not see anything. For the people who saw it, it had no significant impact on their lives. And Ms. Anoske, I just want to ask a question, because when the government does things like this, they almost go and then pat themselves on the backs and say, we're doing well. But then via several different metrics, it's been measured that their conditional cash transfer program had no significant, it brought no significant improvement to the lives of Nigerians. So the people that got it, because I know quite a number of people that did not get it. So at the end of the day, isn't this something that should have been looked into? This kind of report, is it not something that the former administration should have done by itself to measure the metrics by which that is to measure the impact that their conditional cash transfer was having on the people that they allegedly and supposedly gave it to?
Well, the truth is that conditional cash transfer is a scam. It is a very big scam. It is a way that government officials enrich themselves. Because last year on this radio station, when Farouk Omar was saying that in their national social register that they are disbursing so and so amount, we made a call. If you have received this money, or if you know anybody that has received, call us, let us know. Understand? We made this call for 30 Saturdays, and nobody called us that he or she received. And this conditional cash transfer cannot work because we have no data. Buhari government said that they are giving money to the poorest of the poor and the most vulnerable in the society. That they are transferring money to them. Understand? So I say, if the poorest of the poor in Nigeria, if the most vulnerable people in Nigeria have bank accounts, have phones, which means they are not poor. Understand me? Because in other parts of the world, the poorest of the poor don't have bank accounts. They don't have phones. How do you transfer money to people who don't have bank accounts and who don't have phone numbers? Understand me? So what they do is that they will pay them, they will transfer this money to themselves. Now come up with a fake list of people and say we have disbursed the 20 billion to 1 million people.
You're saying they will transfer these monies to themselves?
They transfer to their own account. Now come up with a fake list of names. Because for 3 weeks, we were calling here from the radio station, if you have received this money or know somebody who has received, call us and let us know. Because I know that it is not true. The poorest of the poor in Nigeria don't have bank accounts. The poorest of the poor in Nigeria don't have phones. So how can you transfer money to people that don't have phone numbers, that don't have account? How do you get that data? We don't know. That is number one. So that their money transfer is a scam. It never existed. As you say that you did not know anybody that benefited.
Personally, actually,
I don't know. Understand me? And nobody knows. That is on one side of it. Number two, handouts cannot survive. Nobody can survive on handouts. That's a fact. Nobody can survive on handout. Giving people 20,000 naira every month will not make anybody feel well, because people always abuse anything that comes free and cheap. People will always abuse anything that comes free and cheap. So saying that you want to be giving money, it will not help. There are ways you can help the poor. And those ways are creating an enabling environment for those poor people to begin to get their own money. Understand me?
That is, there are better policies that could be put in place. There are better things that could have been done for the poor, the indigent, and the vulnerable, rather than just, sharing money to them.
They are not sharing money. They are sharing money to themselves. Now saying that they are giving to the poor. Understand me? But when you create an enabling environment, if there is steady supply of electricity, the poor man can sell pure water. Understand? The poor woman can do other businesses. So no country can survive by sharing money, and none has survived. So that's why even I wonder why World Bank should agree to that policy that's at that time. Because for me, I criticize it, and I'll keep on criticizing it. Because they always say, don't give people fish, teach them how to fish. Don't give people fish, teach them how to fish. But because they want to deceive Nigerians, they want to steal Nigerian money, so they will say that they want to transfer money to poor people. How do you get their phone numbers? How do they get their account number? So it is fraud. It is a scam. But if you tell them, they will say that you are enemy of progress. So I will never support any government that want to start sharing money. Sharing money does not help anybody. Create avenue, create an environment for people to start making their own money. There are so many things that Nigerians can do, but the environment is not enabling. No electricity, no road, no anything at all. And even Tinubu government wanted that to continue with this same thing. The other time they said that they call it credit corp, whatever this and whatever. So for me, I always investigated all these things. So their credit corp, whatever. I went through. They say after you have filled your names, understand? They will now ask you what do you need this money for? Number one, they will write buy a house. Number two, rent a house. Number three, start a business. Understand me? Do you know how much that will pay you for all these things? 50,000 naira. So are you going to use 50,000 naira that to buy a house, or to rent a house, or to start a business? Understand me? So this shows you that all they are doing is scam. They just want to create avenues to transfer that money to themselves.
And you believe that was what happened during former President Muhammad
That's what happened during when Omar Farouk was in charge of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. Okay. Because nobody can say that he received that amount of money they say that they are distributing.
If that is the case, right, the whole reason why we're talking about this now is because of the World Bank report. If that is the case, but how then did the World Bank collate this report that says, oh, the people who received it did not make any impact on them?
World Bank was basing their report, their analysis on the paper submitted by the federal government, because they will go and say, begin to bring names. Understand me? They will forge names. They can forge 1 million names and present as people who have benefited. It happens. It's not strange. They usually forge names as people who have benefited. They can even go to the cemetery and bring names of dead people. So World Bank was talking based on the paper that they read from the federal government. So there's no way 5,000 naira, 10,000 naira can impact a family. What is the price of food items in the country? So for me, it is a waste of resources. It is a useless policy. It is a government that is bereft of ideas.
All right, because of our time, let's move on to our very next topic. And this has to do with the EFCC stopping all dollar transactions and asking the embassies to charge in naira. Now, this is not even this is something that most people, most critics and analysts would back, because you are in Nigeria. Why shouldn't we transact in our own nation's legal tender? Why should we charge for goods, services, products in another country's legal tender, even if it's that country's embassy that is, in our own country representing their people? Now, the EFCC is saying, look, according to the CBN Act, only currencies issued by the Apex Bank is legal tender in Nigeria. All of this is to stop the dollarization of the economy. They've gone after businesses who were charging in dollars, which many said was a commendable move. But this time around, the EFCC is saying all Nigerian foreign missions domiciled abroad are to accept naira in their financial businesses. That is, all Nigerian foreign missions abroad should accept naira. And also, the embassies here should also accept naira. Is it not, would I say, ironic that you are saying here you have to accept our legal tender, and outside the country you also still have to accept our legal tender? Does that mean that the other country can also enforce it and say you must accept our legal tender?
It is contradictory.
Because how would Nigerians in diaspora even see the naira to make transactions with?
It is contradictory. You cannot say that embassies in Nigeria, foreign embassies in Nigeria, should be doing business with naira. Then Nigerian embassies abroad in the other countries should also be doing business in naira. It does not make sense. So, but what this EFCC should know is that embassies are a different word altogether. Understand me? Embassies are a different word of its own. An instance, if an American commits offense in Nigeria and go to their embassy in Victoria Island or in Abuja, you dare not go there to arrest him. Understand me? So it is a different word. This is what they should know. Then, but doing business, it is wrong to do business in a different currency in another country, because we are a sovereign nation. Understand? We are an independent state. So we are not supposed to be using foreign currency in our own country. Because if I go to America and use naira there, they will throw me into prison. If I go to Britain and bring out naira, they will throw me into prison. Even Cotonou here, if you go to Cotonou, once you get there, you have to change your own naira to their own CFA, because these are independent countries. So, Americans coming to, no, I shouldn't say Americans, Nigerians, hotel owners, supermarket owners, charging dollars in Nigeria, it is very, very wrong. And anybody that is paying in dollars, whether you are paying house rent or you are buying a house, or you are paying school fees, or whatever, and you are using dollars or pounds in Nigeria, you are committing a serious offense. Because you cannot do that in America, you cannot do that in the United States. You must use their own currency. So it is a commendable one. The more the demand is on Naira, the more the value of the Naira will go up. So it will help to strengthen the value of the Naira. This is what EFCC want. This is what Central Bank of Nigeria want, to strengthen the value of the Naira. But they shouldn't be dictatorial with it by saying that embassies, understand me, embassies in Nigeria take orders from their countries, not from Nigeria. Embassies in Nigeria take orders from their own countries, not Nigeria. And you said that embassies in Nigeria should be doing business with our own Naira. Then Nigerian embassies abroad should also be doing businesses with our own Naira. Who are you? Who the hell are you?
Okay,
understand me?
Okay, keep it polite, keep it radio friendly. So
it doesn't work. Everything that they are doing to strengthen the Naira, including supporting it from our foreign reserve, which is what they have been doing many weeks ago, understand? We need the Naira to be strong. We need the value of our Naira that to go high. But we should be reasonable in doing this, because all this BDC that they are arresting are not our problem. All this bureau, the change that they are arresting and throwing into detention are not our problem. The main problem why Naira has no value is because we are not a producing and exporting nation. We are not a producing and exporting nation. That is what will be done for Naira to be very strong. That's what will be done to increase the value of our Naira. We need to be selling our crude oil in Naira, not in dollars. Russia sells their own products in their own currency. That's why Russian currency is one of the strongest in the world. They do business with their own currency. America is exporting their dollars everywhere, intimidating the whole world. That's why dollars is #1 currency since 1944. Understand me? Since 1944 up to today, dollar has been #1 because Americans are using it even in the other countries of the world. Americans are paying their workers abroad in their own currency.
And all of this serves to strengthen the currency.
Sure.
All right, then. We need to open the phone lines by 5 p.m. on the dot. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm your host. And on the other side of the table, I have Mr. Peter Anosike, who's been doing the analysis on the program. Today, we want to move on to our final topic because the phone lines will be open at exactly 5 p.m. so that you can also air your opinions. I want to hear from you, a voice of the people. After all, we're here to give you a voice. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Finally, on our very final topic, River State. Honestly, when I hear River State these days, it feels to me like I just sigh because I'm like, oh, what is it again? But yes, we need to talk about all of these things. It is what affects the Nigerian polity, so we need to talk about it. The River State chapter of the APC earlier this week ordered its members in the State House of Assembly to commence impeachment proceedings, the impeachment process against Governor Fubara. Now, this call came barely 24 hours after Governor Fubara had said the House of Assembly, led by the Speaker, Honorable Martin Amewule, is not recognized by the law. In fact, he told the 27 lawmakers that they are just existing based on his goodness, because if they were to go by the dictates of the Nigerian Constitution, once they defected from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressives Congress, they ought to have lost their seats. And I just want to ask Mr. Peter Anaske, it's 3 minutes before 5 p.m. At 5 p.m., we have to open the phone lines. A lot has happened since the day this call for impeachment came. With everything that's going on in River State, I just want to hear your opinion on it. Will they ever come to a political impasse in River State?
Well, the truth is that River State was not created for development.
It was not created for development.
It was not created for development.
What was it created for? What was it created for?
River State was created to sabotage Biafra. That was the main reason why.
How?
Why history are no longer being taught in the school. Go and read the reason why Gowon created River State in 1967. It is to sabotage Biafra, to weaken Biafra. So it was not created with the mind of development.
And you feel that is that the reason for the political crisis going on in the state right now?
So it has been there and it will continue.
You are saying it was a base for the political crisis that they're experiencing right now.
It's not ending today. It will still continue. 2020.
Is that the reason why God's sons have, quote unquote, been betraying Godfathers? Because of the Biafra factor, according to you?
It is a haunted state. It is a cursed state. Understand me?
All right. I would ask you to retract the word curse, because you cannot say so. Are you the one that cursed the state?
It is a cursed state.
You cannot say so.
Excuse me.
Even if you say haunted, one might be inclined to understand, but cursed is quite a reach.
The money that is coming to River State, apart from Lagos State, no state is making more money than River State.
Is that what makes it cost haunted, according to you?
If you check there's no state in the country that have foreign companies that's in the country than River State.
Isn't that supposed to be a good thing?
But go and check the rate of development
in the state.
In the state.
Can't we now base that on the government not doing what it's supposed to do? The state government being lackadaisical in the area of development.
That's why I say it is a cost state.
It's then the people, the land, or the government.
Let me explain.
It's because you are using that. Just I don't agree with.
Explain.
All right, let's hear from you.
My explanation will tell you with why I say it is a cost state. So, Gowon created the River State in 1967 just to weaken Biafra. That was the only reason why River State was created. Not for development, not for progress. Understand? Then, from there onwards, what are we having? Ken Saro-Wiwa led the northern armies into Biafra. Understand me? It was Ken Saro-Wiwa that led the northern army, that showed northern armies how to enter Biafra. Understand? So, then the first person to attempt coup in Nigeria was from Rivers, Adaka Boro by name. Going on and on. After the war, what happened in River State? It was only in River State before the war. Port Harcourt was the most beautiful city in the country. Port Harcourt. That's why it was known as the Garden City. Understand? That's why Port Harcourt was known as the Garden City. But at the end of the war, Rivers people declare properties of Igbos who left Rivers to their own different states or towns abandoned. So it was only in Rivers State that you had abandoned property. Any other thing, any other state, none. So then Igbos left Rivers and and Port Harcourt became a jungle city, which it is up till now.
My question is this the reason why the government of the state is the way it is right now?
It doesn't start now. It has started right from time.
As much as I understand that, are you saying that has influenced the way that the governors of the state have acted up until now?
Foundation is important.
As much as
when something is happening
important
to you, go and ask, why is this thing happening to me? So I'm telling you why what is happening in Rivers is happening. Gowon did not create a Rivers for peace and development. And since then, he created it for sabotage. And since then, that sabotage, that betrayal, that treachery is still going on in that state till today. Understand me? That treachery, that sabotage is still going on in that state till today. Wike and Amechi, we are Peter Ordin's boys. Understand? Peter Ordin help that to make Amechi governor. Then Amechi now has to pick Wike and make him his chief of staff. What happened? Wike betrayed Amechi.
So you're saying there is a cycle of betrayal.
Wike betrayed Amechi, understand me, to Jonathan. Amechi betrayed Jonathan to Buhari and Tinubu. Understand me? So it is not going to end. It will continue. Then Wike now forgotten that he has been a serial betrayer, picked a Fubara, hoping that Fubara will be obedient to him, while he himself was not obedient to the person that picked him. So Fubara also have to betray him. Understand?
And you're saying this is based on foundation.
On foundation. On foundation. Then coming to what is happening now. What is happening now is robbers, armed robbers fighting for their right in the open. Because by our constitution, those 27 lawmakers has lost their seat. Section 109 of our constitution says if a member of the House of Assembly defects to another party, he has lost his seat. So those 27 lawmakers defected from PDP to APC. You cannot transfer a vote from one party to another party. So Rivers people voted for PDP, not for APC. So you cannot carry the PDP votes to APC, which means they have lost that position, that vote. So when Fubara said that they are non-existent, it is a fact. They are not existing anywhere. Legally, they are impostors. By and law, they are impostors because they have defected to another party, which our constitution does not recognize. But these people now, because of that same foundation, that brigandage, that betrayal that led to their formation, don't want to accept the fact. They are still fighting, even when they know that what they are fighting for is illegal. Understand? This thing in Cross River State, when Ben Ayade defected from PDP to APC, the House of Assembly members that defected with him lost their seat. They did not go to court to fight because that's what the Constitution said. In Ebonyi State, when Omahi defected to APC from PDP, the House of Assembly people that defected with him lost their seat because our Constitution mentioned specifically House of Assembly and House of Representatives. So then why should Rivers State be different? Because when this is now fighting now, governance is suffering in Rivers State as we speak, because the governor cannot focus on governing. And today, National Working Committee of APC said that Fubara has committed an impeachable offence. Therefore, they should impeach him. This is no more Rivers APC, but National Working Committee of APC. Understand me? And yesterday or so, a court in Port Harcourt declared that the Rivers State House of Assembly members should stop sitting. But as people who were specifically programmed for war, for crisis, watch, by Monday now, the Abuja court will issue that's a counter order, and the suffering will continue.
Okay, it's way past 5 p.m. The phone lines are now open. Call us up right here on the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm your host. My name is Chema Innocent. On the other side of the table, I have Mr. Peter Anosike. We will take a very brief break, and when we return, we'll be taking your calls, your messages, and of course, your comments on YouTube. The number to call is 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903. On WhatsApp, it's 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338. We'll take a short break and be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're now taking calls. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. You've been calling for a while. Thank you so much for holding on.
I know. Good evening. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name and location, please?
Yes, my name is Ola Adewale. I'm calling from Atlanta.
Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you quickly.
Yes, thank you. I'm probably not going to say much, but to emphasize, I know your guest used that word, armed robbery. So my question to him is this. Basically for the fact that we know who they are, and the major issue is corruption, because that's the only battle. That's the only elephant in the room, the big elephant in the room. So how do we curb it? Because we've been We've been going here and there in all states. So please ask him. I mean, maybe he has a clue. Because I already mentioned there's a particular clue, my own suggestion per se.
Yes.
I've been suggesting
Not
this
to worry,
quite a
Mr.
while.
Adewale. He can hear you, all right? He can hear you, and he will answer your question in a bit. Thank you so much. You're listening to the recap right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Now, we have, via the phone lines, we have Barrister Darlington, and he has something to say. Welcome to the recap, Barrister Darlington. Good evening.
Good evening, Chairman. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So, you have something to say regarding everything we've been discussing this evening?
Yes. In addition to what Peter Nosike has said about us, in fact, all the minorities, and you have them mostly in the Delta areas, immediately after independence, on October 12th, that is 11 days after, the Saduna of Sokoto declared that they will never allow these minorities to have a say on how they are governed, that their territory belongs to them. It is like a Bible for the Northerners. That is why 87% of the mineral oil well in the Delta area, especially rivers, belongs to the Northerners. 87%. That place has been a testing ground for wealth since independence. When Sarowiwa and his fellow travelers wanted to betray Biafra, they were promised 50% derivation from the oil well, all resources. That was what the Northern Federal Troops want the Northern governor to promise them. Gowon and so when he thought that he was part of the North, they were promised 50% derivation. That means whatever resources they gather, they are going to give them 50%. That was what they used to deceive Ken Sarowiwa and his fellow travelers. And that was why they betrayed Biafra. Unknown to them, they were being used. And that was why when Sarowiwa was asking for resources, natural resources, from Abacha, Abacha warned himself right, but he did not listen. Because Ken Sarowiwa's mother was cooking for Abacha when he was the GOC in Port Harcourt. They were family friends. So Ken Sarowiwa thought that he was going to get this thing from Abacha, being a family friend and all that. But he didn't know that when he comes to power, the North does not compromise. And so when he insisted, of course, you know what happened. Abacha made sure that he was killed and acid was poured on him. Since that betrayal, I am telling you the history of that rivers. Just like what Anosike said, it is true. Foundation is very important. You build a state with the wrong foundation, with simple foundation. How can there progress? How can progress come there?
Okay.
Since they lost that Garden City, have you had Port Harcourt or being called Garden City again? The answer is no. Go and check. In fact, there are more to it. I don't want to go deeper.
Okay.
But we check from all the to now, it has been betrayal upon betrayal, betrayal upon betrayal. Why don't you ask yourself, what is wrong with rivers? What is wrong with look at where Messi is now. Look at Messi. After they use it, look at where the dump is now. And they have not sat down to ask themselves what is going on. And who are the people using them? The Northerners. The Northerners.
Okay, Barrister Darlington. Thank you so much. All right.
They thought they have betrayed the let them continue now. Are they enjoying it today? Now that they are slaves to somewhere, are they enjoying it? Weekends in Abuja dancing. They will still drop him now. They will use him and drop him.
All right, Barrister Darlington. Thank you so much. Let's get calls from others as well. All right. Thank you so much for calling in right here on the recap. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. You can as well send a message on WhatsApp to 0817 175 6338. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Additional Wasi is my name. I'm calling you from Ikorodu.
Welcome, Additional Wasi. How are you today? Let's hear from you quickly.
I'm fine. Yes, let me remind your guests. As for the crisis in the River State, it is not automatic if you defect. Someone need to go to court because before the court can declare you as your seat as vacant, as he said. But no, it's not automatic. And let me advise Fubara, if Fubara is listening, these people, they are noisemaker. They are just trying to pretend like they love him. Go and check those who are behind Fubara today. They are the same people who against him when Wike nominated him. I don't know how our people are so hypocrisy of the highest order. How can your guests say they are illegal? It is court. It is not the right. It is not the. It's not the governor that will say that. It is court that can pronounce them as their seat as vacant, not governor. And it is not automatic until someone go to court. If someone did not go to court, they still remain as legitimate bona fide member of that state house of assembly. I just try to remind your guests, because the way he's talking, he's saying it's automatic. It's not automatic. Someone need to go to court, and the court need to pronounce that.
Okay.
Until then, they are still member of state house of assembly.
Thank you.
And thank you. As it is now, they are member of state assembly. Good evening.
We hear you. Good evening. Thank you for calling. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. Welcome to the recap. What's your name and location, please?
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, you have Ambassador Musa here from Mushin.
Welcome, Ambassador. Let's hear from you quickly.
For public consumption, some statement has to be guided. The state is cost. Something like stuff needs to be guided. Presenter, you need to guide some statements. Prepare for the defense of what you are discussing right now. We're talking about what is going on, but go on this. There's some mystery that can make things worse. I know people from Rivers will defend what you are saying now, but I can't believe this. All I know is that the governor and the assembly member need to just think about the people of Rivers. People of Rivers are demand for good governance. Please, for the job and selfish interest, both of them, and make Rivers work. At the same time, we need to guide our statement for future.
Thank you so much.
The governor goes to court, doesn't go to court. Once you decamp, you have vacated that seat.
Okay, we have a caller on hold. Welcome, Remy. It's a pleasure to hear from you. It's been quite a while. Welcome to the recap.
How are you doing, Mister?
I'm very well. Choma Innocent here. That's okay. Let's hear from you quickly.
Greetings to your Oga.
You can hear you.
Yeah. My aim was to correct the two callers. Though we know them. If you are conversant with radio stations, we know them and we know their allegiance, where their allegiance lies. I was thinking he was going to counter Nosike with a reference from the Constitution, but he couldn't. Was the most, because whatever happens between those for Fubara or for Wiki, it will affect governance. Presently, you are still talking about the dealings between these two people, instead of him dealing with what should affect the lives of people of Rivers positively. And people are pitching tent behind either of them. Just like Oga Anosike said, there's a record of betrayal from Amechi, between Amechi and his predecessor, Wiki and his predecessor, then 17 as Fubara. So there's a chain for that. It is going to continue. Karma is playing out. So Wiki shouldn't cry out, to say. Using those legislators and all that won't make any change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Remy. Reasonable as always. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You're listening to the recap on this dial. Call me up 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call, 0700 903 903 903. And WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338. All right. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. What's your name and location, please? Hi.
Yeah, good evening, Choma.
Good evening.
Choma, I'm this will be calling from Ikeja.
Welcome, Obi. Let's hear from you quickly.
Oga Natika agree to.
Thank you so much.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay, when we talk sometimes, people say hypocrisy. I could remember this week of a man. when he was dealing with APC, most of these people calling today, they hated him, they were against him, we care what. But today, he's their darling brother, their darling party man. So the issue here is that what Anosike said is correct. You know, I don't know. I don't think that anybody will come and gag Anosike on way to talk. As long as he's not insulting anyone, as far as what the historical perspectives he's bringing to this program, they are all correct. I don't think that anybody has any right to gag him. And we know most people they call on radio, just they want to call and do the things that the ones that say they cherry pick what favors them and what they like. What Anosike is saying is 100%. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, OB, for your call. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. You can as well call me up or send a message on WhatsApp 0817 175 6338. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, this is Zerenade calling from Spain.
Welcome, Zerenade. Let's hear from you quickly. In 2 minutes.
Please, Mr. Anosike, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's also great, Mr. Darlington. I'm happy to hear his voice. Well, Choma, let me just add my voice to this. On this, the deputy speaker, this Carlo. See, our leaders can be our leaders can be very funny. How is he sure that we'll be alive before then? We're in 2024. This guy was talking about this thing. How is he sure? And can he swear that they won the election of 2023? You see how these people just every time they keep disgracing themselves. Even people that listen to them, I pity them. I don't know why some of them will clap for them. Look, they should keep disgracing that country. On everything about the analysis of this thing, he was just very correct, and he just hit the nail on the head, like Mr. Darlington. On all this sharing money, I may have once said it on his this one of his interview. And one other thing I want to add again is concerning Igbo, how Igbo votes. There's something that Mr. Anosike did not say. Even the one of 1993. Topal has this in his roommate was Igbo man Sylvester Go. And Igbos are not interested if you are all they are interested what we will bring. Who are you and what we will bring? Then in 1999, Abasanjo, they voted. Then 2003, this Buhari pick Igbo as a running mate. We're not interested in that. That's what, had it been this 2023, this APC just bring this kind of like someone like Osibanjo, they will divide vote in Igbo land. That's how Igbo vote. They should not. You see, one thing. Let me round up. One thing of what is happening in Nigeria. We are cause. We are the cause. And when Nigeria are ready, these people cannot be messing up. And this journalists too contribute to a lot of things that happen in Nigeria.
How?
At times there's some question they ask. Here in I work with some journalists. What they do need is information. They said here, a journalist without information is dangerous. They sometimes look at Nigeria. We just say when you try to tell them they say you have nothing to back it up. Work on it. You as a journalist work on it. Why every time you have nothing to back it up? No, what is this?
Well, everyone should come with facts.
Here you give them information. They will just work on it. Before you know it, the person become the best journalist of the year. Tom, I wish you just come to Spain. Let me take you around and spoil you a bit.
Okay.
I wish you
Thank you so much for the offer, Zerenade. And thank you for calling all the way from Madrid, Spain. One thing we would always say, no matter how you want to blame Nigerian journalists, all right, if you're come with facts. That is just it. Okay, I might have my information, but whatever information you are selling to me, you have to find a way to, in his words, back it up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
What's your name and location, please?
I'm Victor Oluwasegun. How are you? I'm calling from Mushin.
Welcome, Mr. Victor. Let's hear from you in a minute or two.
Well done. The foundation of Nigeria is faulty from the beginning. That's why we are having all this problem in the nation. And in some states, the nation is autocracy, corrupt crazy, and cabal crazy. There is no altar of democracy. If the foundation is faulty, everything that is being laid on it will be faulty. All institutions, only 99.75% are faithful. The rest is corrupt. From the judiciary, the presidency, the House of Representatives, the INEC, you just mentioned the custom. So what we need is somebody, you can find the situation we have. We need somebody who can rescue us. As one man has said, nobody knows tomorrow. They are now planning for 2027. Human beings, they've forgotten that their soul is just a pain of inside it. Or they've forgotten 60. They are acquiring wealth without knowing that all is vanity. Those who have gone, who have left, no condition is permanent, no situation is permanent. Those who are embezzling money today, one day will come. They won't take kobo out of the whatever they are doing. They've forgotten there is a judgment. They've forgotten that they should do what is right. The masses are suffering. The masses, they find easy. They find very, very quick to eat one meal. No money. And when you have the money, the food is expensive. You try it. You don't go out to buy food. You are not going to benefit. Talk less that you cook at home. Only God will save us. We have corrupt Christian leaders in our institutions. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Thank you so much for calling. It's a pleasure speaking with you. He called it. He said we're practicing everything except democracy. We're practicing corruptcracy, autocracy, kabakcracy. I wonder what that means. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Please turn down the volume on your radio set. Please turn down the volume on your radio set.
I apologize.
What's your name and location, please?
Michael is my name.
Where are you calling me from, Mr. Michael?
Okay, I'm calling from Abuleba.
Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you quickly.
All right. It's about what Mr. Anosike said. I listened to the guy that...
Are you there?
You should guide him.
Hello, can you hear me? You might have to give me a call back, okay? Your network is not very palatable at the moment. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to be a part of the conversation. On WhatsApp, it's 0817 175 6338 0817 175 6338. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name?
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Mr. Anosike. I just want to give a little contribution on the topic of today. Can you hear me, please? I
can hear you.
This is Bright. I'm calling from Italy.
Welcome, Bright.
Thank you. You see, it's heartbreaking, people like my elder man there, Mr. Anosike, in places where I reside here. These are like the kind of people that are in some of our institutions here that can really checkmate what is happening in the system. You see, we are just here talking back and forth about the proceedings of our politicians in every state. It's in every state, not only Port Harcourt. Sometimes we seem to forget where we are coming from. Then where we have the problem, we now start discussing about the problem. We've just had a general election whereby most of us, we are not, okay with the final result. We have to move on. But have we thought on not having ourselves in this loop that we have just passed? Now, Everybody is talking about the governor, the House of Rep, the senators, and everything. We've forgotten that we have a system that keep putting these people there until we as Nigerians, we as citizens decide to say, no, this system must be changed. We don't need this system. If we are not okay with INEC, we should not be soliciting for how to change INEC, how to change the people that elect our leaders. That is where we can change the system, like what is happening in Port Harcourt. Because if Fubara tomorrow succeeds 4 years and leaves the office, the same thing that is happening with Wike and Fubara now will still happen with Fubara, with whatever person is going to succeed Fubara. It's a chain of reaction. It doesn't end. It's the same thing in my state, those states. It happens everywhere. So we should start thinking of how to change the institutions that bring these people in, because you can't expect to have people going to cast their votes. After these votes have been cast, then somebody will, at the end of the day, go to the Supreme Court and change the system and say at the end of the day, the court will now say, oh, this person is not the winner, this is the rightful winner. Then why do you have to put the people all through the electoral process? Why? It doesn't make sense. So now, instead of us now, if you look at whatever is going on in Nigeria, everybody is just talking of high dollar rate, what is happening in Port Harcourt, election coming up in those states, the presidency, where's our president, everybody just carried away with whatever is going on. We should first of all just leave all these problems first. Let us focus on the institution that brings these people in. When we start with the institution, then we cannot know the people we put there. Because look at now, in Port Harcourt, everybody is fighting. The House of Assembly, the House of Assembly there, everybody is fighting. Nobody is thinking about the people who elected them in office. Nobody is thinking about the children that are not going to school. Nobody is talking about the universities in Port Harcourt, how the system is working. None of these House of Assembly members is talking about that. They are talking of how they jump from APC to PDP, how they are going to move from PDP to APC.
Okay.
And all these government, you see them before election, you see them you see them frying akara with people frying akara. You see this one roasting corn with people roasting corn. But when they get there, these people they become lions and tigers. We cannot accept that. The institution, we as Nigerians should talk of changing the institution. We should leave a bag of rice, leave everything. By the time we get the institution right, everything will come in place. That should be our problem now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call to be part of the conversation. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Oh dear, welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Hello, Chairman.
What's your name and location, please?
Mr. Anosike, good evening.
He can hear you.
Okay. Now, I want to ask some questions and I want you to answer me. Your president. Now, I want to ask, did he come for debates? Did he come for any interview that a journalist might be able to screen him to ask him questions? No, he didn't come. Even the this thing they went for, that is the Chatham House and this thing, the question that they asked him, they was assigning it to Erufai and Co. Now, to tell you that he does. That is to tell you that he doesn't have anything to offer. He is not questionable to you. You cannot ask him any question. So INEC, cash and carry, INEC and judiciary has put him into that power now. So now it's not questionable to any persons in Nigeria because they have entered there by proxy or any other means. So now, I don't know how we are going to get out of this mess because now everywhere we are in tumult now. Now he hasn't used up to a year and everything is upside down. Now it's just like I used to look at this states that we are in are more or less like if you you have a multinational company now, well organized company that is a multinational company, and you now put an agbero into that particular company without checking his background, no certificate, nothing. So you now elect him to head that particular place. You are doing screening. So what you get is more or less like an agbero kind of policies, governance, and every other thing. So that is the state we are in Nigeria. So like I used to say, blessed are those who do not expect from this government, for they shall not be disappointed. Truly, we are in a nightmare. With this government.
Okay.
So
you didn't tell me your name and your location, but I feel like I can already guess.
As we are in now.
Thank you so much for calling.
The worst of us is always
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Dio from Fubara, because this is exactly the content of the messages that he sent to us. I'm glad to hear from you. Thank you so much for calling. I think we have space for one or two more calls. We'll take two more calls and we'll call it today right here on the program so we can take your messages. Welcome to the recap. Good evening. Turn down the volume on your radio set, please.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
You see,
what's your name and location, please? Oh dear, give me a call back 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. You're my final caller for the evening. Welcome to the recap.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location, please?
I'm calling from Mushin.
All right. Please turn on the volume on your radio set. Please turn on the volume on your radio set. Oh dear. All right, give me a call back. I think we'll take one more call. The last two calls have not really gone seamlessly due to network issues. So one more call and we'll call it today right here on the program. Welcome to the recap. Good evening.
Good evening.
What's your name and location, please? Welcome. And let's hear from you in 1 minute.
Okay, my greeting to I go straight to the man at the Abia, who is having a Californian dream. And they are going to give Abia to APC. We are telling him that he's having a Californian dream. Is he trying to see what Rochi is doing there? After what Rochi is doing there, then APC will come and have chance. If they get 1%, they will thank their God. And secondly, EFCC, that is, trying to be a strong institution instead of a working institution. We are begging them, this macho man approach, they should limit it. First of all, tackle the problem locally. Yes, first, tackle it locally. Before you can give any instruction about abroad. But I can see say you're giving all that for home and abroad. I don't understand this institution. I will not lie to you, my sister. They should watch inside that institution and know the people that is taking care of there. Nigeria should be watching inside and know the people that is taking care of that institution. Thank you.
Thank you, Nemeka, for calling all the way from Ejigbo. Unfortunately, that's all the calls we can take on the program this evening. We'll now move on to taking out your comments on YouTube and your messages on our WhatsApp platform. Okay, you're listening to the recap on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It is time for us to start taking your comments, your messages, all right, so that we can end the program. Beginning from YouTube, we have Antem PC Aguilara saying, well said, Ambassador TV said the said money is a scam. Oladewale says, have you ever asked the leadership reasons for borrowing money while the ones looted are being relooted? Why is the World Bank management not working for Nigeria sustainability? Honestly, is Nigeria a federal republic of comedy? Because all we see happening is balablu. Their united front in Nigeria to curb the, I believe this is where we're occurring daily with leadership in the country. Does Nigeria and its leadership need mental evaluation? All of these questions, Oladiwale, and I don't have an answer to them. Which God does Nigerians want in control? Is it the God of the prophetic, or you want the God of money? Any small thing, it is God. Oh, what a country. Will EFCC follow the money and show the public the receipts of the loots? EU says your analysis about a cursed river state is very unprofessional. Celebrate says, Mr. Anosuke, God will bless you for me. EU says very myopic. I used to like listening, but this comment about river states being cursed because of Biafra is not it. Oladiwale says at 63 years plus, Nigerians is still crawling. No be juju be that. Ambassador TV says going to court is a waste of time. Mr. Nosuke is right. Celebrate says Mr. Nosuke do not accept any form of intimidation from any compromised and tribalistic fellow. Oladiwale says, how do we curb Olegba and okay? Celebrate says, Mr. Nosuke, you're very correct in what you're saying. I love your bravery and courage. Oladiwale says, the Agberu analogy fits Nigeria's situation. Okay, moving on over to WhatsApp. We have quite a few messages on WhatsApp. Evening to you in the studio on River State crisis. Please tell your guests that it is not the governor that will declare their seats illegal. It is the court. Tell your guests has member defect to APC. It's not automatic until someone goes to court before their seat can be declared vacant. Not automatic until court says otherwise. There is still legitimate members of state assembly from additional Wasiu in Ikorodu. If you're saying, are you saying what you're saying according to the constitution or according to your own opinion or according to how you heard it from somewhere? Because what you're saying is different from what the constitution is saying, Mr. Additional Wasiu. All right. Hi, Choma. I'm watching your program from Madrid, Spain. And thank you so much. Didn't tell me your name and your location. Choma, how long will it take Jonathan administration to implement just a report despite spending 6 years in office? And your guest is blaming his predecessors for Jonathan failure. Your guest said APC is not up to 1% in Abia State. The same Abia that have elected senator and House of Reps member voted for by people of Abia. Thank God you're able to caution him on his choice of words today. We should not be doing the same thing we accuse our governor of doing by lies to justify our sentiment and emotion. Olu from Badagry. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Peter Anosuke and Choma. Honestly, truth is bitter, and Anosuke is saying the truth. Because sometimes I ask myself, how many Port Harcourt indigenes that own an oil well from Port Harcourt, from Iba? Good evening, Choma and Mr. Anosuke and Choma. It is imperative that the incumbent government sits up on the spot, as Nigerians' mental health is fast deteriorating, and the ripple effect no sooner than later would devour the entire country like a wildfire. The shenanigans carried out by the government of the day before the masses have left us in a state of higgledy-piggledy. As such, the angst on our faces is unbearable and staring at the government. Of course, Chisco from Ijegun Ijagemo Jagajaga Road. Thank you, Chisco, for your message, although it does make me laugh. Mr. Anosuke has spoken well. My father told me of the same story of what Mr. Peter is narrating. It is unfortunate for them. Kilo from Baruwa Ijesha. Oladiwale says, at 63 years plus, Nigeria is still crawling. No juju be that. Okay, same comment on YouTube. Mr. Anosuke will appear and speak gently in the beginning, then later explode like a grenade. Baba must always drum the bomb every Saturday. Choma, the Lord is your strength, my dear. Mr. Anosuke, you're laughing too, because no, this person is this kind of right. Huh? Thank you for, do I say felicitating with me now? Just thank you for identifying with me. It really is my strength. All right, UC from Ijegun says, good evening, VOP. What is happening in River State is spiritual. There hasn't been any form of peace there. Imagine a state that is so richly blessed but has nothing to show. It is really a foundational problem. Like the analyst said, what is happening in River State is what is happening in Nigeria. Good evening, presenter. Quick one on conditional cash transfer. It is an insult to say you want to transfer 5,000 naira to people in the 21st century every month. If I ask, to do what? Even a baby knows it's a scam. How will I base my life as a man on government 5,000 naira per month to buy what, please? Is it for Gary? Is it for Eba? We don't need money. We need access to light, roads, schools, and security. We are innovative people. We know how to make money. Just give us a platform. Shout out to my brother in Aba, Olawale from Ijanike. Okay, you can send your messages to 0817-175-6338, 0817-175-6338. Evening, Chairman, Mr. Anosike, my journalist of the year. There is a saying, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse or misuse is inevitable. The question is for this government, what has people benefited in 11 months? Insecurity has turned the country into a gangster's paradise. Economic disaster, poverty, increase of school fees has brought about failure of students, WAEC and JAMB, illiteracy, banditry. There is no power. It's made private companies to jackpot. SMEs have shut down. Doctors and other professionals too have left in thousands. Is this governance? Blessed are those who do not expect, for they shall not be disappointed. It is a shame. Dio from Fubara. Thank you so much, Dio. I heard your voice for the first time today. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you for writing in. And that is the size of our package today. But I will not go before asking Mr. Peter Anosike to just give us your submission, your final submission on each of these topics. I can see about 2 comments just came in, so let me take these comments before I ask Mr. Anosike for your final submission on each of these topics. Evening to you in the studio. On that sentence imposed on drug traffickers, it is a welcome development. We did not discuss this. You know we did not discuss this, but it's okay. I will also advise the National Assembly members to impose that sentence on corruption, because the same way drugs destroy our society is the same way corruption is destroying our society and also destroy Nigeria's future. In fact, corruption is the root of all evil in Nigeria. Until the National Assembly do the needful by imposing maximum sentence on corruption and kidnapping, this country will not get right. From additional Wasiu in Ikorodu. Okay. Wilfred from Surulere says the brain of our leaders is divided into 2 halves, the right and the left. On the right side, there's nothing left, and on the left side, there's nothing right. That's why instead of focusing on governance, they are focusing on 2027. Chama, you can see that the mentality, perception, orientation, and mindset is miserably, hopelessly, pointlessly, cluelessly, aimlessly, extremely, stinkingly, and wretchedly poor. What is English? People used to use and send you message. Just take it easy. Please take it easy. Okay, go easy on me. Yeah, and that's the size of our package today. That's all the messages we can take. I can't even take any message or any more comments right now. But Mr. Peter Anosike, thank you for joining me on the program today. I want to get your final submission on each of the topics we've discussed today, from Jonathan to Buhari to EFCC to Rivers State. What you have to say?
For Jonathan, as I said, that's in the beginning, government is about the people. The welfare of the people, the well-being of the people, and government is a continuum. It's like a relay race. Where one stops, another one continues from there. You don't abandon projects that meant well for the people because it was not started by a member of a political party. It is wrong. Jonathan came with a very life-changing, life-transforming, country-transforming policies like the Orosanian report and the confab, which this APC government should have continued, but they abandoned it. That's why we are where we are at this point. Because if they have allowed the subsidy that Jonathan removed in 2012 that to stand, we wouldn't have been passing through what we are passing through at this moment. Then on Benjamin Kando, the deputy speaker, somebody said that Abia has elected a senator. Oji Kando won senator election, not because of APC, but because of his own person. Oji Kando won the Senate election, Abia not because he is in APC, but because of who he is. And in his DNA, Kando is a PDP person. Understand? So Abia doesn't constitute up to 2% APC doesn't constitute up to 2% of the total population of Abia State. Those that voted for Oji Kando in in APC still voted for P2B in the presidential election. Understand me?
Okay.
So on the third one, what should be the third one?
On we've discussed a lot of issues today actually, but just like you said, on different issues we've discussed, you've talked about the issue of excuse me, the deputy speaker. You've also spoken about the issue of Buhari versus Jonathan, and of course we have the Buhari government's 5,000 naira cash transfer.
Okay, the 5,000 naira.
Yeah, EFCC stopping dollar transaction. Of course, the River State situation.
I said that it is a scam because those people transfer those money to themselves and their cronies, because this kind of exercise cannot work because we don't have data.
Okay.
We don't have data, so it is a scam. And there's nothing that even 20,000 naira a month can do for any family in today's Nigeria. So transferring money does not solve problems, rather it creates problems. So what Nigerians need is to be taught how to grow their own money. Then on the EFCC, we're not supposed to be charging anything in dollars in our country because it belittles our sovereignty. It puts our independence in question. When that loss in Nigeria should be charging in dollars, it is wrong. Then for River State, once, according to section 109 of our Nigeria Constitution, once you defer from one particular party to another, automatically you lose your seat. That's what that Constitution said. Because votes are not transferable. You cannot transfer one vote from party A to party B. Rivers people voted for PDP and not for APC. So the point that these people defected to APC, they lost that mandate.
Okay.
Understand? So for now, those 27 lawmakers are imposters. Understand? They are imposters.
That is where they're not supposed to be.
Understand me?
Okay, right.
Yeah, so that is it.
Again and again, I must thank you for listening, for watching, for being a part of the program, and I hope you will join us again next Saturday for another insightful, educative, and informative program right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Choma Innocent. I've been your host. You can find me on social media at _the Radio Girl on Instagram. Yes, just on Instagram at _the Radio Girl, at _the Radio Girl on Instagram. You can also find Mr. Peter Anosike on Instagram at Peter Anosike77, at Peter Anosike77. Follow him and he'll follow you right back. Across the social media platforms, we are at VOP 903 FM. You connect with me. I definitely want to connect with you. Till I come your way again, do the best you can to make Nigeria better in your own little corner of the world. Have a good evening.